another fantastic weekend of Formula One racing here on the EGL Extreme Gaming League. I'm Tipsy Bob, and joining me on the mic is my trusty sidekick and my good friend, Dad Pants. Covering all the action today, we're going to be covering everywhere from Monaco, Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain, all across the world, all across the country. We have a full grid lined up, some of the best talent around the world. We have plucked them from all corners of the earth to give you some of the greatest racing experience viewing footage you'll ever see in your lifetime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the EGL. There we go, once and all the cars are all lining up on the grid. They're all getting ready. The drivers will be focusing on their first corner. Are they going to take it? What are they going to do? Is it going to go deep? Are they going to go? Who knows? Let's take out, away we go! DRS is still active, and if Timo wants to get this moved on, he's gonna need to use this DRS zone because I have a feeling. Oh no, Timo comes under the pressure in the traction zone. He tries to mount up another overtake on 1v3 trademark. This is round 3. Timo cracks under the pressure once again.
And Timo are oh, it's not pit. Oh no! Oh my god, this was so sorry, control myself. So Timo
I wouldn't be gonna penalty too, so they can stand at the back together again. Just like Timo likes it.
How many times? Did you see how many times Timo tried to get into the pit?
Hello and welcome, good evening ladies and gentlemen. We are here again for another evening of racing on the Extreme Gaming League channel, and we are here with SLR's Tier 1, the No Assists division, and we've got 20 drivers taking on a wet Spa-Francorchamps in the 14th round of this season, and we've got the full grid of 20 drivers, and we've got the full commentary box of me and Tara as every week. Hello.
Hello, Timo. Hello, everybody. And yeah, we have a wet Spa, which will be a fun time in qualifying. We have Ocean Chief is driving Tier 1. That's a welcome surprise. We've got Mr. Ocean Chief in the lobby. We've got the usual suspects at the front of the grid. We got Hugo, we got Danny, we got Gary, we've got yeah, lots of people. We have Tipsy Bob as well in the Renault, who was doing a little bit of practice beforehand, and he's got a little bit of pace around here. He's fairly handy around Spa. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, it's just one of these classics. I mean, it's like in every calendar. I mean, if you do a custom calendar, you're always gonna take Spa, because it's just such a, like, it's a track basically every series drives on, and everyone knows the track. Most people love the track, so I think you said at the start of the week, Spa doesn't change much, and it's very much true. We know what to expect, but it's good things, so I don't really mind that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, the longest track on the calendar, 7 kilometers or thereabouts.
You forgot 4 meters. What are you doing?
Oh, there you go. It's 4 meters as well. They could have like redesigned one of the corners to chop those 4 meters off. That's,
you probably
ridiculous.
I mean, it's probably 7 kilometers in real life, but the elevation change over the bumps in bus stop on this game just gives it so much more time. That's my theory.
That's certainly very possible.
Oh, God.
We got people starting their flying laps at the moment. Don't know whether it's going to dry up in qualifying. It doesn't look like it at the moment. It's certainly still raining from what I can see. We got Wow going through Eau Rouge and Radiant. And up the hill, I'm trying to figure out who is the first driver that's actually going to set a time here, because I don't think it's not Pretorius. Who's behind Pretorius? It's the Williams of either Copy or Hugo. They're on outlaps as well. So I think it might even be the McLaren of Basco, maybe, who might be the first one to set a lap time here. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, Basco through Pouhon was an adventure. Did manage to catch the slide, but Pouhon claimed Mr. Ocean Chief in the Tier 3 race. He was having a pretty good race in the Tier 3 race, and that was where it all started to fall apart for him. It's one of those corners that will absolutely bite you if you let it.
And I read in chat, well, Justin said it's gonna be wet race halfway through.
Oh.
So
So
that's
wet quali and a
interesting.
wet race, yeah, until about halfway through, which is so presumably that's either the softs or the mediums to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's there's no strategy gamble with that. I mean there rarely is at Spa. It's really only like safety car timings basically determine it all. Medium runners have a problem in a certain window because they can't go to the end on softs. They could take hards, but it's really slow. So like you get an interesting strategy aspect then, but that's all gone with the rainfall. So we're not gonna get any of that.
Yep, absolutely right. We got some times coming in as well. Mr. Wow, perhaps unsurprisingly, going fastest of all, of 1 minute 52.8 in the damp conditions. He's on pole by a good 8/10 at the moment, but obviously there's some fast boys doing their first runs as we speak.
As we watch Yugos going through Pouhon, or rather exiting it for the Lefania chicane.
Yeah, he went very wide in Pouhon. Would have invalidated had he not gotten out of the throttle, so it will have cost him some time. As
Oh,
Fox has crashed.
That's
up the
Radion.
hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So we'll
Ooh,
try and see if I
Yugos.
can spot that one.
A little bit of a mistake from Yugos there. So who's that coming up? That's Danny.
Danny, the car's gone though now,
Yeah.
so...
Oh, and there's
Danny,
another car gone!
Danny,
It's
Danny.
2 cars now! Goodbye, but he
Aye, aye,
lives.
aye.
Oh,
And he is
dear.
pretty lucky, honestly, because
Yeah.
he still has all 4 wheels on that car. He certainly could have lost one there. He hit the wall pretty hard. He has no front wing at all, but he can certainly drive back to the pits nice and easily.
Yeah, especially with those tire barriers you get in this game that, like, sometimes they just demand the tribute of your tires for no reason at all, because they, like, wobble all over the place. But they didn't in this case, so, yeah, I would agree. Probably good bit lucky for Danny there. That could have gone way worse. It's not optimal,
Yep.
but it's salvageable.
Yep, absolutely right. We have... oh, my headphones aren't plugged in. Let me plug in my headphones, apologies. Very professional.
How does that... What? I'm not gonna ask any questions about it.
Alright, there we go, I'm back. So my
yeah.
headphones are Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth is not very good. So
But-
hopefully it should be less audio problems now. Alright.
I didn't notice any before, but that's fine.
Okay, they do cut out sometimes, which is really annoying when I listen back. So
Okay. Well, I don't
Yeah, working now.
notice. It's so common. It's normal. Okay. Bailey has put it on P2. So yeah, I mean the Ferrari master plan is split the strategy, send one into the wall and the other one onto the front row. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah, good
still,
stuff from Bailey. I know Bailey's done a lot of practice. He was practicing earlier as well. He looked pretty quick. He was doing low 41s in the dry qualifying, which is a very fast lap. I know the pole yesterday in rapid races was a 41.0, I think. So that was Mr. Hugo.
Yes.
So certainly those times are what is possible. Pretorius goes P2 on a 52.9. So a couple of drivers now in the 52s. And I would imagine the circuit will get a little bit faster as the session goes on. I'm just trying to see exactly what the weather's doing. It is still raining, so it looks like it's going to stay intermediate conditions for a little while at least.
Yeah. By the way, just a funny fact at the side. Hugo's reaction to his pole time yesterday in rapid races wasn't "oh wow amazing" 41.02. It was "oh god damn it, I bottled the 40."
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm half expecting a 40 from somebody here today. I'm half expecting it to be, well, I was, but I'm not now, obviously, because it's intermediate conditions, and yeah, Gary goes fastest.
Maybe with the GT3 track limits.
GT3 track limits and yeah, pad hacks, maybe. Oh, you mean for the 40, and yeah, okay, fair enough, yeah. I was...
Yeah. It was
I was behind on that one. It was a good joke, I was just...
Thank you. I appreciate it. It always means so much to me, so... yeah, I really wonder what kind of session this is gonna be. I mean, you know, I'm a filthy cheater, so I am playing with low particles, which doesn't make me the biggest cheater in the past, right? Anyways, so that one was meh. So I've got low particles, so I can't see how bad the rainfall is, but it looks like, I mean, I can see some spots of sun in the clouds, so
yeah,
I don't know.
There definitely is still rain. I don't know how hard it's raining.
That's fine. Justin just died.
Oh, that's the horse that stopped in Pouhon. Yeah, there was. Yeah, I guess he spun. It's very easy to do if you clip the inside curb. So Justin, struggling a tiny little bit. But yeah, well, yeah, it's like the rain is. I mean, I mean, there's what 7 minutes, 8 minutes left of the session now, which. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go to dry tires.
Oh yeah, for sure not. I just
Who almost died.
Justin, it's okay.
Oh dear.
But it looked very unnatural, so I assume it was like at least halfway left. So either he's really good at saving, or his car's just a pendulum. I don't know, man. What's going on here?
I don't know either.
So anyways, I was just wondering...
I think he might be warming his tyre, but yeah, he's got no fuel and he's going to the pits, so yeah, I don't know.
Your 4K monitor flexing on us with the in-depth knowledge about his fuel.
Hey.
Quite the good insight. So, for the third time, I was wondering if this session is getting any faster or if it's just gonna stay like this. I mean, it doesn't need to turn into dries to get faster. It just...
Yeah, I don't know how it works, because my feeling is that the intermediate tires don't particularly get faster as it dries. If anything, they get slightly slower because they overheat. I don't know whether that's true or whether that's just me not noticing. But that's my feeling. I mean, the session will get faster because of track evolution, because I think that remains constant even though it's raining, which obviously is not realistic, but you know, that's the way it is. But yeah, I don't think it's going to get any faster if it dries on the intermediate tires. But someone please do correct me if I'm wrong about that.
As we're watching Yugos now, some days ago, or no, it was actually today, he realized that the gap of Williams in the Constructors' Championship is as huge as it is, and maybe he and Copy are feeling bad right now, because they're in P9 and 10, maybe they want to, you know, pretend like they're not dominant, so maybe that's the mission, because Yugos just went off track.
Oh, there were some GT3 track limits right there, that was...
Yeah. To be fair, they drove like that IRL as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. No, it's the way you do it, and he lifted off, so he didn't get an invalidation from it, just as he did there. He goes into Puon now. That's oh dear. Wow, that was on the very, very edge, but didn't look particularly fast to me. But I mean, Hugo's the master of going fast while not looking like he's going fast, so that might not be accurate.
I mean, you're good at that as well.
Well, I go like, I go, a reasonable pace without looking like I'm
I nail
fast.
only 50% of that equation, I might not look fast, but I'm also not fast. That's, so anyways, Hugo's up by half a second, so either he bottled bus stop, or this lap is not gonna be even contesting the front row, because he wouldn't need
I'm gonna be
a full
completely honest,
second.
if this lap is on the front row, I'm just like, everyone
Yeah.
else should be giving up, because I've seen like at least half a second's worth of mistakes from him on this lap. So if he's gonna put it on pole here, then that's absolutely ridiculous. He goes P3, so yeah, about half a second off the best time, which is Gary's, which is about what I would expect.
Yeah, Gary doing really well for himself once again. Vasquez also still holding himself in the top half. Some people have jumped him before I was able to mention him, but his lap is decent. And now Wow goes even faster than Gary, so Gary was sitting on top for quite a bit, but now Wow takes that front spot back for himself.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking about what the situation is. Hugo is going for another lap, and I'm trying to see how much fuel he's got. It's a little tiny screen on the Williams. It looks like he's got enough for this lap and maybe one more. So Hugo might be going for a couple more. Well, he's going for at least one more lap. He might be going for more than that even. Pretorius is out on track now. He's got enough fuel for another couple of laps, so he's probably got 2 flyers. Couple others as well. Bailey just crossed the line too, about to start another lap, so it's as Pretorius invalidates. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting end to the session. It's intermediate qualifying means that you don't have to do just the one lap. You can do more than one lap because you don't start on. Actually, if it's a wet race, do you start on the intermediates? If the conditions are the same, do you start on the intermediates you qualified on if you're in the top 10? I don't know actually.
No clue. No, I mean, whenever there's a wet qualifying, I'm not in the top 10, so how would I know?
The rest of the time you are obviously, but not when it's a wet qualifying.
Not in qualifying generally. The magic happens in the race when everyone else, kills each other.
Hey, Hugo does the fast lap. There we go.
Oh dear. Well, that's a fast lap, and that puts Wow down in P2. As you can see in the bottom right of your screen, Wow has won here last season. Hugos hasn't won here in the past because he's made a big improvement between season 4 and season 5, and so he wants to put himself onto that list of Spa winners. He would be the 5th individual driver to take that. Is Triton driving? No, Triton's not driving, so Wow is the only past winner here who is currently on the track, or on the grid.
Ah, there you go. There's SLR lore for you. Pretorius, man, he's very squirrely out of last source. Gary put it P2, by the way, a few...
yeah. Pretorius! My God.
Over the shop. He got away with it. I don't know how much speed he lost. I suspect it was some, as we've lost one of the Renaults down the hill towards Eau Rouge by the looks of it. Pretorius lost a 10th and a half in that first section. He invalidates on the inside of Lecom. So yeah, that is the end for Pretorius.
No,
maybe not actually. Maybe not.
Timings are bugged.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Might have time for another lap, but it's close if he does. Hugo is not doing another fast lap. I guess he was out of battery. Gary is doing another fast lap, and Wow is also doing a fast lap as well. So I'm going to look at Gary's split here. He's coming across the second split timing now, and he is barely up on his previous time, about half a tenth. So he fully yeets it out of Stavelot and up the hill towards Blanchimont. And Wow in the first sector is just 0.03 of a second up on his best time, and in fact he's invalidated already, so that's the end of his session as well. And Justin has put it P4, so good lap from Justin.
Yeah, indeed, I was going to mention the same. He's in P4, which is really good. I mean, normally he is like at the bottom of the top 10, which is good, but seems like the wetted spar suits him, so that's nice to see. And I wonder what he can do in the race. I mean, the qualifying is of course not over yet. He might just drop some places from here, but it's a very good starting point for sure.
Yep, certainly is. I would suspect that Pretorius and Bailey are both thinking that they can improve. Danny has died, it looks like, on the Revo corner. By going out wide on the exit of Stavolo and the exit of Paul Frere.
Why is that the Revo corner?
Because he died there in 2SRL.
Wait, which season? What?
A while ago. It was a while ago. It was like season 3 or season 4, something like that. It was a while ago, but reaching deep back into SLR and 2SRL.
I just remember him dying in Radeon, you know.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I remember that too.
Can't you drive in a straight line, you nice person? So, copy.
Bailey improved to P4. Makenda goes P5. Good lap from him. Sorry, what were you saying about Copy? Yeah, he's struggling.
The game is, of course, telling me that he finished his lap out. I wonder if the timing bug just means that Copy's still driving, because I don't think the AI would be going this fast. Like, this is pushing. This is not
maybe.
an AI driving, is it?
Maybe. Let's have a look at Copy here. He's, yeah, no, I don't think this is an AI driving.
Yeah. So he is still on his way. Maybe he can get himself at least in the top half. It's not even a disadvantage in any form, in any stretch of the imagination now, because everyone's gonna start on inters or full wets for that matter. I don't know. Oh, Gary! Yeah.
There it is.
Kind of lose track of who can still improve with this bug, but yeah, Gary could still improve, so he's now in P1, and back to Copy. He's got 1 sector to go. What's it? Never mind.
Nope, he did not have 1 sector to go, so he didn't get to put a lap in after all. And Gary it is who's on pole with another very impressive performance in the wet. We saw in Austria he's very quick in the wet. And the first half of the race is likely to suit him as well. He's going to be fast in the wet, I would think, there as well. But there is your qualifying session. We have Gary, Hugo, Wow at the front. Wow has really stepped up these last few races. It's been really good to see. Hungary, he was extremely fast.
He's finally recovering. I mean, he had that... well, I mean, I feel harsh saying it, but he had a terrible first half of the season for the expectations that I think most people had for him and Jensen, and unfortunately Jensen of course has departed, though I don't know if it's temporarily or not, but Wow is still here, and he's showing that he's still in the fight. Well, maybe not for the championship, but for podiums for sure, though beating Yugos is of course always hard.
Yep, beating Hugo's is hard. More at 6. It's it's very hard, in fact, to beat Hugo's. But Gary has certainly done it in this qualifying session. Jensen says temporarily in chat. Good to have you watching, Jensen. It's and yeah, good to have you back whenever you decide to come back.
Yep. Best of wishes, of course, from the commentary box.
Oh, Justin says dry lap 17 to 19-ish.
Oh, so
it looks
that's
like
interesting.
It's either 1 or 2 slots that are dry by the looks of it at the end of
Because
the race.
then it's gonna come down to whether drivers are able to like stretch the intermediates for 17 to 19 laps, or if they're just gonna pit at the middle of the race. Like you can maybe force a 1-stop and then go to softs, or you just drive the entire thing on intermediates and stick out for like 2 laps in the dry. It's possible. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see the different approaches to this, and well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't honestly know how long the intermediates last, but it's certainly usually they last long enough to do most of the race at the very least.
Yeah.
Depending on the track, but yeah, we'll wait and see. It looks like a soft stint at the end.
So, yeah, kiddos, we've got rain and we've got a very wonderful corner called a Rouge. So that's a funny combination, and you know, we might see some yeetage as you like. While we're taking some eons to load here. We can look at the championships. We've got both tables up here. Hugo's really challenging me with doing some calculations. So we are at, I can't do maths. Is that 82 points? Yeah, it's 82 points. So 82 points in the standing. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I'm just I have my phone, I have the stream up on my phone, and it's at 144p, and I was struggling to make out what numbers they were. But
Wait,
yeah, 82 points.
You can make out numbers with 144p. That's amazing.
You can like guess based on the general shape. It's
yeah,
it's a fun exercise.
Yeah, I wear glasses. I know how guessing numbers works. It's, one thing that is maybe interesting. I mean, the constructors championship is wrapped up. The drivers champion, or it isn't, but you know, it is close to being. And the drivers championship looks very much uncontested at this point. But I wonder if Gary can still maybe get that P2 from Copy if it goes on like this. I mean, now in this race he's on pole, and Copy's only in P13, so maybe if things don't go well for him, and he only gets like a few points, like some consolation points, then Gary could could bring that gap down and get himself into striking range already for Monza next week. So I think Copy still has to worry. I mean, it's not wrapped up with the Williams 1-2 in the standings. He could still be caught.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, wet races like this one will help Gary, whether it's well, I mean, he's obviously a very skilled driver in both the dry and the wet, but certainly I think the pad helps out slightly in the wet weather compared to the dry. But anything that he can, any wet races that he can get, I think will be good for him. And yeah, we still have Mr. Ocean Chief, who hasn't loaded, unfortunately. We've been waiting a little while here on the loading screen after the players have selected their setups. They've put their fuel in the car, and they've selected their tires. And Ocean is apparently stuck, which is very unfortunate. I was looking forward to seeing him race in this one.
I'm looking forward to everyone having minus 200 degrees on their tires because they're waiting so long. Not gonna lie.
That's true. Absolute zero tire temps. As endorsed by TRL Limitless and 2SRL Timo.
True. How can you just drive a circle around me, Danny? What's going on here? So anyways, we are on the formation lap. It's the longest formation lap of the calendar. Or is Singapore maybe no? Well,
no, I think this is longer. It's certainly longer in terms of distance and.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But generally, Singapore races are. I mean, because Singapore doesn't cover much distance, but the track's really slow. On the formation lap, every track's really slow, so never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't matter so much on the formation lap. So, yeah, I think it is the longest formation lap. It'll be more than 2 minutes, I imagine, depending on the pace that they. Well, certainly in the wet, it'll be more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, it is intermediate conditions. So I don't know whether it's the case that you start on the tires you qualified on if the conditions are the same. I don't think it is, but it could be.
Yeah, unfortunately Chief is killed, but if he makes it in time, then he could maybe still take control and he could actually get the bug.
Yeah, here he is. Well, no, they fixed it, didn't they? They fixed that bug. No, they specifically said they fixed that bug.
When?
Where people not getting corner cuts.
Oh no, I mean the tire temps. The tire.
The tire temp.
Because this is specifically what I did to get the bug.
Okay.
But I mean,
maybe that.
I didn't do it on purpose, but you know what I mean. So maybe.
Actually, I can. Can I check here? Let's have a look.
Yes.
See if it'll. No, his tire temps are normal.
Yes. So, the predicted pit stop strategy. There's the red tire compound of intermediates and the green one, and also the 3 tire compounds you can choose are wet tires, intermediates, and the black and white flag. I don't know what that graphic was, but scroll back in the stream to see what I mean.
Yeah, no, I just got it as well. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I guess it's. I mean, yeah, the colors are weird. I don't know why the colors are there, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously assuming that the race will be intermediate in its entirety, and we know it's not going to be.
We think.
Yeah, I mean, we can be reasonably confident, I think, if there's at least one dry flash card, whatever they're called, at the beginning of the race, and lap 15 to 17 suggests to me that there are probably 2.
Yeah, probably. So, we're gonna see how this all unfolds as everyone takes their good positions. And, well, there's actually a huge gap. Justin is probably not making friends up the grid, because no one is gonna like being backed off that much. And Danny and Ronex collide. So, there is 2 drivers with cold tires. Oh, that rhymed. Okay. Does it reset the tire temps, or does it just like teleport you, and the reason your tire temps are low is because you're standing? Because in the second case, then it wouldn't be that disastrous because they didn't have to wait for much longer.
Yeah, I don't actually know. I suspect it works the way you described,
Okay.
which wouldn't be a
Jensen
disaster, but I actually don't
says
know. Yeah, second
the
case,
same.
yeah.
Okay, so as always, Spa is a little bit notorious for crashes. We've seen Spa 98, for example, in real life, and Ronex gets to start the race a little bit early as we go green in Spa, and it looks like Yugos doesn't have anything on Gary for this start. Beatty's already stuck his nose in, and Wow is also there alongside him. Now we sprint down the hill, and let's hope everything goes well through Rouge and Radillon. Gary well away in the lead. Yeah, everyone's slotting in nicely, so no one fancies doing side-by-side action through Rouge or Radillon for that matter. And it looks like we're going to get all drivers through safely, which is, that's really good to see.
Yeah, literally everyone.
Yugos!
Safely.
Never mind. Yeah, he takes, I don't know if he was even behind Wow, but certainly ahead now. And Copy also took a position from Ronex, who jumped the starts. He needs to serve a drive, so he's practically out of it.
Well, he is, yeah, unless there's a safety car of some description, which there may very well be towards the end of the race. But yeah, it's settled down a little bit at the front. Everyone's in grid order as far as I can see. We got Hugo ahead of Wow. They were fighting up the hill. I think Hugo was always ahead, but they were certainly fighting into Les Combes. And through Pouhon they go. And yeah, Gary is looking to make a break here. The gap almost a second already between himself and Hugo behind. Wow. Bailey, in fact, everyone all the way down to P12 is in a theoretical DRS.
Oh, someone's dead, and it's Bajan.
Bajan, yeah.
Yeah.
Pouhon, exit of Pouhon. I didn't see what happened, but certainly he is spun around. He looks like he's got...
Oh, and Ocean Chief has also had a bit of an off, I think. He caused a yellow flag, and he's dropped 3 seconds off the back of Granat. Gone.
Yeah, looks like it then, and he's got all of his front wing, and... so that's good for him. I don't know about Bajan, whether he's going to have to pit. He is missing some, so yeah, he will have to pit at some point.
Chief does in fact have the minus degree tires, Icewind and Nebur. So.
Oh dear. Okay, well, that's good for memes at least. I don't know about good for his driving. Astra Boys out tractions Bryce down the front straight into turn 1. So good stuff from
Nice
Astra.
move.
He's up to P8. Around the outside there, it wasn't really a corner, but still. Ocean Chief does the fastest lap of the race. I told you it was quick around here. 0.9 seconds. I don't think that's going to be beaten in this race for the fastest lap. Ocean Chief, driver of the day, nailed on already, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, there you go. This is what you have to do to get driver of the day.
This is what esports looks like, folks. It's Ocean Chief doing a lap as far in 0.9 in the wet. There you go.
I like how you say "in the wet" as if it makes it any less believable.
Yeah. It's obviously more impressive in the wet than if it was dry, where it wouldn't be impressive at all. But lap 2, and nothing. Not a huge amount of on track. I mean, it tends to be the case when we have wet races like this, because no DRS, of course, so it's just the slipstream that you have to rely on, and slipstream in F1 2020, lol.
Oh, yeah, I've seen beautiful clips of Yugos fighting Janaba on Spa, and he had open DRS, and he just pulled out, and he got a McLaren Honda Monza Abu Dhabi moment.
Yeah.
Oh, and someone, well, that's Bajan again.
Bajan again, yeah.
Oof.
So he's pitted for fresh tyres, and he's gone around again on the exit of Malmedy by the looks of it. So he's struggling. The gap up front, 1.0 seconds between Gary and Hugo. No DRS, of course, so the 1 second cutoff doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
But certainly Gary will be wanting to make a little bit of a break. Bailey having a good look now at the back of that AlphaTauri in front. Wow. In that AlphaTauri is, I don't want to say struggling, but certainly
Bailey fastest in
certainly under
Sector 3.
pressure.
At least
Okay.
according to the track map, which, you know, lies sometimes. So we don't quite know.
So Bailey through Eau Rouge and up Radion. He got a decent run there, but probably not good enough to particularly think about challenging WoW up ahead.
Yeah. And Gary's keeping Yugos at a good distance. I always wonder how... I mean, real life, of course, performances get shaken up a little bit in the rain, because the equipment doesn't matter as much. And in sim racing, I would say it's just... Like, the only real difference is that no one practices rain a lot. So, like, it is a little bit of a... It's a bit of a performance even in the sense that people who grinded a lot for driving in the dry and like got their lines and all completely figured out take a little bit of a hit because they didn't prepare for this. But I think that's about it.
just a tiny bit. I mean, it doesn't matter. Pretty much the only effect is that you have less grip. It changes the racecraft because you don't have the free DRS lap time that you can take advantage of. But in terms of the driving itself, I would say that it is just that you have less grip. There's not any effect, as far as I know, of the line being different, or the dry line occurring, or the offline in the wet being faster because of the rubber that's accumulated on the dry line, or anything like that particularly.
Yeah, I wish they would change that. That would be really cool. Like, I don't know,
it would be nice to have a sim
track.
that did that. Yeah, absolutely.
You
It
do.
really would be nice to have a sim
Project
that did
Cars 2 does that.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. So Project Cars 2. Unfortunately, they didn't keep that for Project Cars 3.
I think they might have. I don't know.
They might have. Well, there you go. Well,
I think
well, there
I
you
don't
go.
think they threw the track evolution out of the window. It's just unusable now.
Yeah, because all the races are 2 laps. But, Vasco right on the back of Bryce here up the hill, and very close.
Oh, that's a real
Radion.
overspeed he's got there, and he's absolutely got the balls there because he uses overtake in the rain up Radion. But is it enough to take Bryce? I don't know. Wings look like they say no. But he breaks later, so absolutely brave from him, and he gets a really good move for P9 done there. Now he just needs to be on the defense for a little bit, but I think he's got that one done. So Vasco on a charge.
Was great from Basco.
Yeah.
Really nice move.
Oh, but he's still there. There goes Bryce.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, yo, that's how to lose a front wing.
Did he?
No, he didn't. But if he'd hit him any harder, he would have.
Yeah.
Good battle between the two of them, though. It's good to see some on-track action in the wet.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the field is gonna spread a little more than in the dry. Of course, the drivers like stick together in little trains with the DRS, but here in the wet, it's all straight pace, and that's gonna be interesting. And that's probably also where there's like a 3-second gap already between the train that Basco leads after taking that position and Astro Boys, and that's... Oh, Basco! Wow, that was a good save, but I think Basco's now just gonna capitalize on that. Oh, will he? No, it looks like...
Not using overtake. It's single file through Blanchimont in the wet, so you don't want to be doing that. He uses overtake now.
Goes for the outside?
Basco does not. Oh, he looked at the outside. There was maybe space on the inside for him to send one there, but he decided not to.
Oh, but now Pixel comes there, he sees his chance and he puts himself alongside Bryce, but he gets all out of shape, and now Copy, who I was originally gonna talk about, is gonna take at least one position in that train, but he still has the issue that this train is disconnected from the main train by 3 seconds, and he's also still not clear of Pixel yet. He's looking on his outside there, he's getting into a little bit of a wiggle, but he sorts in behind, so Pixel down to P12 now after he thought he could get P10, but it turned out to be bad for him.
And Danny lurking behind as well. Pixel, I think, got a warning there in Radion. Danny lurking too. Pixel gonna pull out, I think, from behind the back of the Williams.
Oh, what is Danny doing? He absolutely wipes him out! Big crash up the top, and it kills some braking boards. He just broke way too late. Oh, Pixel broke unexpectedly early, but that was an absolutely huge hit.
Yeah, Pixel was right behind Copy, so braked a little bit early, and Danny just wasn't expecting it. And I'm afraid Danny has got to be a little bit more careful than that into a braking zone when there are multiple cars ahead. It's entirely his fault, I'm afraid, and just completely wiped Pixel out there, and also himself. That was his front wing that went flying. Didn't see whether Pixel lost any front wing as well. It looks like it's intact to me, but certainly it cost him a lot of time.
Yeah. I won't apologize to Kitsune, by the way, because she wouldn't be able... Because if she's actually dead, she can't hear it. Deaf, she can't hear the apology anyways, because apparently I'm too loud or something. I can't imagine that.
Timo's not too loud.
That was
gets
like...
very excited. Sometimes his voice cracks. Nothing you can do about that, you know.
It was such a jump scare. I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't even know they were in the braking zone yet, but Danny apparently didn't know either, so... That's, that's real sad.
Lap 6 at Spa. Hugo coming under a tiny little bit of pressure here from WoW, who has suddenly found some pace from somewhere. Got a full battery as well. Hugo has a little bit less battery, still more than enough to defend up the hill. And yeah, a second and a half is the gap from Hugo all the way up to Gary at the moment. But WoW certainly beginning to put some pressure on that Williams. And again, we saw in Austria with Hugo that his tyre management was the thing that he wanted to do in the wet there. And I'm just wondering if it's the same here today, because Justin did indicate that it might be slightly marginal on tyres. It's going to be a little while before the rain stops, so if you can stretch the inters that far, you're likely to be in good shape.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much he is actually conserving. I mean, he's got that solid gap to... Well, to be fair, 6/10 is like not really a solid gap, but I think he's not really putting himself at risk if he's not pushing. It's just... yeah, maybe he's waiting for later on in the race. Gap is 1.4 seconds. It seems to have stabilized right around there.
Yeah, and he won't want Gary to get too far away. Maybe learning from that Austria situation that he had earlier in the season. But he will also want to make sure he's managing these tyres. Bryce with the, I'd say the first meaningful penalty of the race. He gets 3 seconds. It's been remarkably clean from everyone so far. 6 laps in. I think only the 2 penalties. I think only Bryce and NJJ got themselves a penalty.
Oh, but Bailey's gone and he's facing the wrong way. The Ferrari master plan all unfolds in lap 6. And, yeah, that's some places down the order. He's side by side with Bryce now, who tries to take him as well. So Bailey's going to drop to P10 from P4, so... Yeah.
Oh! Into the wall hard, and he has to do a whole lap now with no front wing at all, and that has completely destroyed his race. He didn't have damage from the first one. He have a safety
car. Wow! And we don't even have a Wait, Pixel spun. Oh, Spinella. Oh dear, we've got 3 of the 4 Italian cars that are Spinella.
So yeah, Bailey went around. He'll be very thankful for that safety car, because he was, in fact, both Ferraris will. Because they were in a world of trouble before that. With so lap 7, and
I just read up on chat. Sonny's saying at least Bailey still has his front wing. Never mind.
Oh no.
That's really good.
The commentator's curse is spreading to chat now.
Spectator's curse. Sonny. Let's go.
Yep. So yeah, Bailey does no longer have a front wing, but he will do as soon as he's pitted, and he'll get essentially a free pit stop under the safety car. He's struggling even to drive around slowly though here, because it is a difficult one to control. I have a feeling, I'm just looking whether it's still, is it still raining? I think it's still raining.
I don't see any, oh yeah, it's still raining.
Well,
you
yeah,
can still see the drops on the halo, but it's definitely,
okay,
yeah, it's not anywhere close to being dry, though I wouldn't be surprised to see someone who's like completely out of the race going for something, I don't know, but it would be a bad decision.
Yeah, it would be a pretty desperate move, I think. So it's lap 7 now, so it looks like we're gonna get, Bailey, what are you doing, buddy, what are you doing?
Bajan
gets
gets the...
You don't need to be fast. Yo, drive-through penalty for Bajan. That's unfortunate. Oh, Bailey, no! Bailey, no! Bailey, no! Don't do that, Bailey! Oh, he
least
just had
you
to see it into the wall on the exit of Paul Frere.
At least
And
he
that
still had
is,
all his tires. Always.
That's the end of Bailey's race, which went downhill very rapidly indeed. Unfortunately for him, it was such a good start to the race. We got people pitting, including two of our 3 race leaders, Hugo and Wow, both pitting, putting on fresh intermediate. So they are, I can say, rolling that. It is a little bit of a dice roll because it's not certain that they'll be able to get past the 3 cars or the 4 cars that haven't pitted. They've given up 3 positions in terms of track position to do that, but certainly it looks like a risk worth taking. They will be quite a bit faster on those new tires.
Yeah, I imagine. Also, if this race goes to dry in lap, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 maybe even, then you could consider staying out. With those tires, I'm pretty sure you couldn't if you were on, if you are on the intermediates you've got from the start. They would pop for sure, especially with the other tire worth driving in a drying track. But Yugos and Wow have opened that door for themselves theoretically, if it's gonna come to it. And it's all about being prepared and making the calls according to that. So now this might pay off. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep, I think it might as well. And I just wonder, because it's going to be at least another lap for the safety car, because look at where Bajan is on track. He's coming into bus stop now. He's got, he's a full 2/3 of a lap behind the pack at the moment.
Is
and
he
I just
catching
wonder,
the pack?
he will be, but I don't know at what rate. Presumably, yeah, he'll be there by the beginning and by the end of next lap, right? He'll be there. So it looks like. Yeah, I would. I don't know. It's a long way.
Justin is definitely not a pit lane reporter because for that he's in the car, so he's not a pit lane reporter. But he's telling us that his dear engineer, Mr. Jeff, is telling him 5 to 10 minutes until dry, which probably not dry tires, but maybe a dry track.
Dry weather. That's when the rain will stop. So yeah, if it says 5, then I think that does mean 5. If it says 10, then it might be 10 or 15. But if it says 5, I think usually that means 5. So by the time the safety car comes in, probably
but then again,
is about the time we're going to transition.
Jeff is always wrong, though. Without exception, always.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Sonny says last time he trusted in-game weather, it said rain in 10 to 15, and then it started raining 3 minutes later. He just said 5 for sure, no 10. I'm confused.
Do you want to share your theory about the messages, or are you just gonna keep hinting at it?
So whether it says 10 or 15 minutes, I think is basically random. I think all of the messages that are either say 10 or 15 minutes or both are basically the same message, and it can be anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes in that case. I think if it's less than 5, it changes to the 5 message, which is why I think that matters. But yeah, that's my working theory at least, and I think that's been the case for the last several years in the F1 game.
It does make sense. Oftentimes I get the same messages as other people, but then again, I've never had it that, or I don't think I remember having it so that Jeff tells one of us 5 minutes and the other one 10 minutes, but I've heard one being told 10 minutes and the other one 15 a lot. So
yes, absolutely, absolutely for sure.
That is, that sounds like it supports your theory that all of the 10 to 15 minutes.
That's in fact what my theory is based on. That's that specific thing.
You could
but yeah,
probably find out somehow if you went into the I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
the files or something. I don't know. I just wonder if we're going green. I don't think we're going green.
I think we are.
Because
I don't think the game cares too much about. I've seen lap drivers being way too far back. I honestly, I generally say, "Oh, Bajan! Oh no!" Ooh,
John.
it's okay.
People doing things under safety car. No, we've passed the sector 2 line, and I don't see the message that it's in this lap, so I think it's staying out another lap.
I didn't believe, like, I know everyone always use that logic that the field isn't bunched up. There it is.
It is in this lap. There we go.
Said it. I've seen
message
too many
coming
counter
late.
examples, and this one is one of them.
Yeah. No, I think you might be right. There might be it might be that there's a maximum number of laps or something like that, or a maximum time, or something. But I don't know whether the
Oh, Bryce collided with Wow!
collision.
And there's probably gonna be a pit stop for them if it goes to dry, so Bryce might even not...
Yeah.
Might not get that one taken off, but Wow doesn't get a penalty, and Gary gets a decent restart, but it's probably not as good as he had hoped. Bryce dives right into the pits.
That's wing.
Yeah, for sure, and Gary didn't really get rid of Pretorius. He will want to do it on pace. I mean, if we look at the first stint, then he will probably be able to, but it's not a guarantee. He'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, and the drivers that are on new tyres, new intermediate tyres, Hugo and Wow, looking to make moves here. Hugo up the hill. He took a risk there up the hill as Wow gets himself 3 seconds. That's another, again, his Achilles heel maybe coming back to bite him. Everyone using actually not that much battery, less battery than I was expecting there up the hill towards Lake Com, but no changes in position, and it is going to be difficult for Hugo to overtake here.
Basco takes Granat, and I thought Granat was going to spin, but that was just really close between front wing and Itaya, but Basco moves up one spot. He's doing really well today. I've seen some good things. He's already on fresh tire. He's also on fresh tires, so might get some points for himself.
He's in for a very good result if he can keep that going, because on fresh tires with and he's in the points already, so Basco on for a good result here. Wow, all over the back of Hugo in Pouhon, decides not to press the issue. I think he ran a little bit wide on entry there, maybe dirty air having an effect, but up front, Gary looking to make a break. He's got a little bit of a buffer in terms of 2 cars behind him, in fact 3 cars between him and Hugo. NJJ gets, I think, his second penalty of the afternoon.
It's just doing it to make Wow feel better. The gap between... Oh, Makenda! Wow, that was really sideways.
And Astro as well, running wide, and surely getting a warning for that too. So Astro putting pressure on the back of Makenda, and this, I think, is where the fireworks are going to be, as NJJ and Granat are side by side into bus stop. Granat holding that one for the time being. Tipsy lying in wait as well in P13, but I think the fireworks might be coming in the next couple of laps here with Hugo.
NJJ is going to the inside here of Granat, and Granat absolutely overshoots Lassos. He's gonna drop behind all of that train, and Tipsy takes another position. Slowly but surely, Tipsy is coming.
Yep. Opportunistic from Mr. Tipsy Bob, as we've come to expect over the years from him. Good stuff from the Renault driver as they make it up Eau Rouge without any real problem there, and nothing happening really into Les Combes that time with the leaders. So
Pixel going for the inside, and I think we're gonna get a 3 wide moment here. Not quite. Tipsy too far ahead. Granat and Pixel are fighting it out for P13. Ronex gets a penalty. Pixel is not able to stick his nose in there. You could see with his gearing how careful he's being. Like, he's running such low revs to make sure that car doesn't spin.
And I was going to say, there's an action replay moment here, because Danny is all over the back of Pixel now, with several cars in front. He was very, very careful not to rear-end him into the back of, into Rivage there, as Astro Boys gets 3 seconds. That's very meaningful. Hugo as well, looking to overtake around the outside. Hugo putting his nose in there. Astro not giving him it. He doesn't need to. Hugo on the outside for the right-hander. Can he get the traction here? Around
he just swings it in. And Astro's fine, but and he's still alongside, actually. I thought he was clear, but they are still fighting side by side, and Wow wants to get into the action as well, and he picks the first one off, I think. Yeah, Wow's up to P5. Can he maybe even go further to Yugos? I don't think so, but Astro loses 2 positions there. I assume that was the tire wear.
More battery going here as Wow around the outside into the bus stop chicane as they go side by side. The 100 brake marker's gone, but it doesn't matter because Hugo brakes basically perfectly into the bus stop. Brilliant stuff from him on the inside, defends the position, and they both cleared Astro Boys, which is really big.
Yeah, Astro is putting up a really big fight there, and he was doing well, but then, like, as soon as the door was opened by Yugos, Wow just, like, threw himself in there and got the position. Also, Pixel got a position on Granat finally, and now Danny will probably try and be the next one who gets through there, because he's got the tire advantage, and probably wants to be further up the order. Yeah, he's gotten that one.
That's right. Wow, though, on Hugo here, he does have perfect slipstream. Very, very close to the back of the Williams. Hugo covers the inside. Wow to the outside as they go up the hill, completely emptying as much battery as he possibly can. Hugo running a little bit deep into the corner, but again gets the braking right and keeps that position. They're both catching Makenda as well.
Well, they're catching Makenda even though they're fighting this hard. That's actually pretty impressive. I mean, they lost time fighting Astro, and they lose time fighting each other. Makenda is driving on his own, but I mean, he's doing a really good job. He is normally driving in Tier 2. And now he is in the podium positions in Tier 1, so you gotta give him credit, but still, Yugos and Wow really showing some pace.
Yep, absolutely right. And I just wonder about the tyre situation, as
dear,
Tipsy gets
Tipsy.
himself 3 seconds. But I mean, Hugo's 4 seconds off Gary already, and he's presumably going to lose a little bit more time here behind Makenda until he's able to get past. So just given that we have basically imminent dry weather, I think it is beginning to dry now. I think it certainly has now stopped raining. So that's the situation, and I think it won't be too much longer. We've had the delay of the race, of course, from the safety car. So there is that to contend with as well. Hugo
Absolute
now right on
overspeed.
the back though of Makenda. Makenda, is he going to cover the inside? He doesn't cover the inside. Hugo's taken a little bit by surprise, I think, and he's outbraked himself, but so is Makenda. And Hugo manages to get it down the inside.
And Wow sneaks himself alongside Makenda as well, so it is the 2-for-1 again. And Wow gets P4, Yugos P3. They are 2.4 seconds off Pretorius and Gary. If it was to go to dries now, the gamble wouldn't have paid off, but if they can go any further than this, then it was probably worth it pitting.
Yep, absolutely right. Hugo as well has gotten himself a little bit of breathing space here from Wow, so not quite close enough this time to have a look up the hill. Granat and Ronex fighting at the back.
And speaking of at the back, someone who has made an extra pit stop is driving a Haas currently, and he's trying to...
Oh, sorry, Fox and Basco here. Fox on old tyres, Basco on new tyres, looking down the inside, doesn't have the straight line speed though. Fox managing to defend into Lecom, does keep that position. They're both right on the back of Copy as Basco makes a little bit of a mistake there in Lecom.
Did something happen to Granat and Gronex? No, they're just fighting. And Granat has got that position. I don't know if he kept it or if he gained it. And Bryce has made the bold switch to mediums, is what I was trying to refer to. But he's 50 seconds off the back of Bajan, so it doesn't look like that's working.
Yeah, the wheel spin in 6th gear that I saw there out of the left-hander. Sorry, the right-hander at Stavalo was a bit spooky. And he's not able to get it stopped there into the bus stop at all. So yeah, I think we're still some way from dry tyres, at least another couple of laps.
And now Wow and Hugo both on a charge. 2 seconds to Protog. We've lost someone, and it's probably a crash between Pixel and Danico. Again, the second time today. They are both in the gravel in Lefania, and I don't know what caused that, but they surely came together. Both still have their front wings, though.
Yeah, I didn't see at all what happened there, but yeah, presumably the same thing as before. Both of them fighting, neither of them...
At least Danny still has his wing.
Yep, Danny still has his wing as the second Ferrari manages to recover, at least for the time being. But yeah, it's we'll have to look at that one afterwards, because yeah, those two have collided twice now. Wow, getting very out of shape out of La Source, and he gets 3 seconds in fact for being on the inside off the track there. He didn't gain time, it wasn't a cut as such, but he just went off the track. Gets himself 3 seconds. Wow! Ay. That's close.
He's having fun. And Ronex finally got the move done on Granat. He's got much fresher tires, so I expect him to pull away now. Basco unfortunately gets himself a penalty. He's doing really well still, P10, and he might actually take Fox here into Lecom. Can he break it later? No. So Fox keeps that one, for now at least.
Yep, certainly does. These two have been battling for a good couple of laps now, Fox and Basco. Fox on the old tyres holding his own. As Danny's taking the chance as well, going onto these soft tyres to go to the end of the race. I'm just going to keep an eye on Danny here, because this will tell us a lot about how much grip there is or is not. And there is not grip, even on the fresh soft tyres. So yeah, we're still a couple of laps out. Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny. Okay.
Does he still?
He-
He still has his wing.
he still has his wing, and all 4 tires as well. It's trials and tribulations of that Ferrari, and yeah, he decided to straight line Eau Rouge, which I think was a sensible decision.
Wait, so what? Did he just? Am I having a? Am I blind?
What's that?
I didn't. I swear I saw him on intermediates like 5 seconds ago. Now I'm probably blind.
No, he's always been on, because I was talking about him coming out of the pits, and I said it would tell us a lot about where the track is,
Oh,
how much grip there is on the dry tires.
as you know,
Yeah,
I
there
always
isn't
listen to every word you say.
It's I mean that's being a commentator for you. You've got to think
okay,
about what to say
yellows.
and listen.
And that's for Justin, I think. As he is. No, wait, that's Bryce. Okay, cool. I just saw slow Haas, and
Yeah, it's Bryce on the mediums
group,
who
yeah.
is like Danny, not fast right now.
I thought Justin had gone off track, but luckily that's not the case. I mean, Bryce has not much to lose at this point, but Justin still has. He's running P7. Astro ahead of him has got a penalty. He doesn't, and maybe I mean Wow's got 2 penalties, so Justin could still be in with some good points. He's currently, well, I would say he's sort of leading the midfield in the standings. He's P7, and there's like a big gap ahead of him, but he probably wants to get that P7 for himself. So. Important to get some points. We've got more yellows, and what is it?
I think it's Bryce again who's falling down the order, a lap down. So yeah, Bryce really struggling. Hugo all over the back of Pretorius. These two on different tires of, well, not different tires, but different ages of tires. Pretorius has been on his since the start of the race. Hugo's are 6 laps old, but actually less than that because less racing laps. And Wow catching up to the pair of them as well. But again, the issue Hugo's got, as Danny retires, he has retired in the pits. So not a good race for Ferrari, I think it's safe to say.
Yes. I would agree with that. Also, I would go with the hypothesis that the 10 to 15 minutes message is probably in the same pool with well, 30 minutes and everything, because it's still not even close to being dry. And
well, the 10-15 minutes is until the rain stops. That's the important thing. That's different from the icons you get. The icons you get are when it's going to go to dries, as we have lost. That's the retirement. The retiring Danny.
Wait, copy pits. Did I just? Oh yeah, I'm a professional commentator. I was gonna complain about how it's not dry at all, and now watch copy put. Yeah, he does put dries on. Let's go.
Well, I mean, he's one of these drivers that needs to take a chance. As Hugo on the back of Pretorius, Hugo try and hang it around the outside. It's a really, really late braking, and he's got the grip to do it. Good stuff from Hugo. He's up to P2, and he's less than 2 seconds now behind leader Gary on much better tyres. So the longer this goes on intermediate tyres, the better it is for him.
And the worse it is for his teammate. It's also a factor in all of this. So, though Copy is not playing like a leading role at the front, is he? How quick is he going?
Not very quick. He is losing time to the 2 cars ahead of him, and there's no way to say this without burning Ocean Chief, but it's Ocean Chief on older tires, and yeah, he's quite a lot slower. So I would think we're still a good. I don't think it's this lap, and I don't think it's next lap. Put it that way. I think we're still a couple of laps out. Yeah,
I mean, Ocean Chief had all temperature ranges. He went from absolute 0 and being frozen to being burnt alive by Terra. So it's quite the day for him.
He is all over the back of his teammate here. Granite. He'll want to get past his teammate because, of course, they don't want to double stack in the pits as well. Runs a little bit wide. Astro Boy is also on McKender in the bus stop as Gary pits.
Gary, that's
and is that for dry tyres? And
yeah,
is
for
this,
sure.
And I wonder whether this is whether this has been dictated to him by the state that his tyres were in. He was struggling a little bit for a couple of laps before this. He was losing time to the cars behind him, even the cars behind him on the same tyre age as him. And yeah, he does put the soft tyres on, so he rolls the dice. And I don't think we're there yet. Copy in the last lap has lost something like 8 seconds on those fresh soft tires, and Gary, I think, will lose
That
a
is
good bit as well.
disastrous. I think he just, I think he literally just threw his chance at a win away. Get yellows, but that's Ronex, who has also got some soft tires on, which tells you something about the state the softs are on. I mean, visually for me the track looks pretty dry now, but you can just tell from watching them drive that there's no grip. There's still spray coming off the car of Tipsy in the distance, and this is definite. I mean, he just absolutely outplayed himself.
We're nowhere near. Yeah, we're nowhere near. It's you know, you gotta keep the tires. I mean, there was no way for him to know that we're nowhere near. But look how much time he's losing to Tipsy in front. He's lost what, 4 seconds in the last 3 corners, Gary. And yeah, he is absolutely playing himself out of a potential race win here. And I think now he's going to be struggling to get any sort of a result at all with the tires that he is on. He needs it to dry up very quickly indeed as we come towards the end of...
Wait, has Yugos made a mistake? Yeah, Yugos has made a mistake.
Yeah,
Pretorius
he
is
did.
absolutely on his back, and he's looking to take the lead from him. He's not, though, because Blanchimont, as you said, is a single file corner. So Yugos getting bailed out by the nature of the track in that way. They are now in bust up. And as you... I mean, you brought it up, talking about Gary. We don't know how much the tire wear, and this forced his hand. That is a pit lane retirement. And now Makenda is also headed into the pits. He apparently heard about how Gary is complaining about the grip and thought, oh yeah, that's what I want. So he's coming to the pits as well. And now the question is, can Pretorius stick it out until dries are the right option? Because, I mean, WoW and Yugos are definitely in the best position right now. They, Gary gets 5 seconds, because they are the ones who can make the end. It is what I was talking about all the time earlier.
Wow on Pretorius,
Yep.
up the hill here, sorry. Wow, around the outside, he's got much more grip than Pretorius, able to brake much later, gets that move done. So the 2 leaders are the 2 cars that pitted under safety car.
Yeah, so, as I was saying, I mean, those 2 just, and everyone down the grid as well who pitted for the tires are in such a good spot right now. Let's actually compare Makenda and Gary. Yeah, Gary is a good bit behind Makenda, so that's how slow that lap was from him. Which you
Yep,
can't blame him for,
absolutely
there's no grip.
And it looks, I mean, it looks a tiny bit better, but it's certainly not as fast as the Inters right now for Gary, who is struggling his way through Lecom still. And yeah, I mean, I can only think that it was forced on him, this decision, by the state that the intermediate tires were in. They've been on since the start of the race. Of course, Pretorius and Astro Boys, the 2 Mercedes, both still out. Gary gets 3 seconds as
It's all
well.
fallen apart. Yellow flags, I assume that's just someone driving really slow on Inters. That's a retired
yeah,
car
somebody
from
in.
Fox.
It's Fox who has
retired on
retired.
track.
Pretorius with 3 seconds. So again, a meaningful penalty at the front.
And wow, and
of
you
the
guys
grid.
diving into the pit, sorry. I think now we've reached the stage, probably Jeff gave them the call, because there's no reason for them to pit if they didn't think it was right. That's what
Yep,
they're doing.
absolutely right. So yeah, I think they're both pitting, and Astro Boys, yeah, indeed, also pits, even though he's going to have to, in fact, he probably won't have to double stack. He was far enough behind, but yeah, they're all going to put fresh, soft tyres on. Wow, of course, with all of his penalties. Oh, in fact, he had a 5 second as well, of course, which he had to serve in the pits, so that's why he's lost so much time in that pit stop. He's all the way down in, P5,
wait,
the auto
what?
shuffling
Wow.
at the moment.
When did he get
the
that?
The 2 Renaults also staying out, NJJ and Tipsy, so I wonder if they're going to try and go to the end of the race. But Hugo now,
Yeah,
with
DRS
there's
is
the DRS call. So we are now in territory where dry tyres are faster, and
I'm sorry, man. WoW was just very much gripping our Brady on there. Did he actually get a 5 second penalty for that collision, or when did he get that? Because
yeah, I think he must have done, because he certainly served it
Yeah.
in the pits.
That's
I watched him do it. Gary got himself 3 more seconds worth of penalties there as Basco again at the inside of Makenda into Lecom. They're both on fresh soft tyres. Basco has to go across Lecom.
Oh, wiggle!
And
But he's
we'll
fine.
have to give that position back. Basco, you need to give that position back, my dude. Oh, he's going to stay ahead. Oh, we might be having words about this, Mr. Bascodinho, because that was not a kosher overtake as far as I'm concerned.
The 2 Renaults are still out on track. Pretorius now has to navigate past them. The Renault
They're
master
barely
plan.
slower than Hugo, though. They're barely slower. It's still okay for the Inters at the moment. It probably won't be for too much longer, but at the moment it is.
Yeah, Tipsy's getting stacked. So that's unfortunate. Now Pretorius is gonna zoom past. No resistance there. Oh, actually? Okay, never mind. The camera angle made it look more exciting than it was. Pixel gets another penalty, and Pretorius takes that P3, which will likely end up being P2.
Yep, I think so. Just looking at the penalty situation, so Pretorius has 3 seconds, WoW has 6 seconds, Hugo has 2 warnings, but no penalty. What else have we got? Justin is on 3 seconds as well, so that's the situation. Justin, if he can stick within 3 seconds of WoW, is in a good position. Gary is getting all sorts of penalties at the moment. He's obviously frustrated at having his race fall apart. He was looking so good at the front. And yeah, it's fallen apart for him. And apparently Makenda tapped Basco. If that's the case, then fair enough. I didn't see that. But if that is the case, then fair enough. He can keep the position.
I mean, this is a little bit of a big deal for the fight for P2 in the championship as well, because Pretorius is likely... there's still 3 laps, but likely he's gonna get 18 points from this race, and Copy's getting none. He's in P15, and Gary's got loads of penalties. He's sitting on 11 seconds, and he's in P6, so Pretorius looks like he's gonna close that gap a little bit more and get himself into the fight, so we might have a 3-horse race for P2 in the standings. But Yugos, it doesn't look...
Speaking of which, Copy retires, yeah. So Copy, no points for him. And Gary's race, it has fallen apart. He's not going to win it. But he is looking on for some points still, so that gap will close between himself and Copy. Oh, as running wide is Basco. Don't throw it away now, Basco. You're on for a really good result. He runs wide through the Fania chicane on the exit. Gary gets 3 more seconds.
14 seconds now. It's all gone wrong.
Oof. So yeah, and Kebab saying that almost as bad as real F1 with Williams and Hugo dominating. Yeah, turns out the best drivers will win races. Hugo certainly has shown himself to be the best driver in the field this season so far, and he is a very worthy P1 in the standings.
And he's looking like he's gonna make it 5 winners out of 5 races at Spa right now.
Yep, I think so. He's certainly looking good for this one. Pretorius with the 3 seconds of penalties as well as the 2-second deficit that he has. And yeah, worth mentioning, Mr. Tipsy Bob is on course for a point here because, at least a point, I should say, because I don't know what the penalty situation is exactly. He's on 3 seconds. And the cars in, NJJ has 6.
If Gary
Basco
gets
has
one more, maybe.
3. Yeah, maybe, actually. He might be in range of Gary as well, so...
I think he's
Tipsy
just
with...
outside.
Oh, in fact, Tipsy's 9 seconds behind NJJ, so he's not going to jump NJJ. But yeah, certainly a good performance from Tipsy, even a very good performance from Tipsy, because he played the strategy right, as Astro all over the back now of Justin. And 3 more seconds for Pixel, who again has had a good race. He got driven into twice. Well, got driven into once. I don't know about the second time. But certainly he's had some misfortune. But he's still there in P12. It's the 3rd part of the Irish contingent.
4. There's 4.
Well, yeah. 3 of them running together.
Yeah,
12.
I was waiting for you to finish so I could make a comment about how Gary destroys the Battle of Ireland and Astro Boys, almost destroys his front wing in the rear of Justin as he runs into him in bus stop. I see purple 3rd sectors popping up with everyone. I don't know if it's accurate. Maybe Astro's genuinely
I'm sure.
that
Yeah,
fast,
I'm sure it is because it's getting drier, right? So
probably,
it'll be a purple 3rd sector for most cars.
I don't know about the penalty situation between Justin and
Wow,
Astro.
one Pretorius.
Oh, yeah, well, wants to take that P2 off of Pretorius, but it's just on paper, so Pretorius is not gonna fight back too much, or at all, actually, because he's
Justin
got...
defending it from Astro behind. Sorry, I don't know whether this is a real battle or not, but Astro sending it around the outside and just about getting a stop for Lecom. Good stuff from him. Justin
they're
still
getting
there,
hooked!
though. Astro almost squeezing him off the road, and Justin giving him the squeeze as well on the exit of Malmedy.
Still side by side in Brazil, and now Astro has to go the long way, but he's got the inside line for No Name, but he's not there, so Justin keeps P4 for now. I know Astro's got a penalty, I do not know about Justin. It's certainly worth it to fight for Astro, because maybe he's just pushing him into that one last warning or something, I don't know. He's got nothing to lose.
This is a straight fight. As far as I can tell, they're both on 4 warnings, so 3 seconds for both of them. So this is a real battle on track for P4. Gary is catching as well. That was very wide from Justin. Don't know if he got a warning for that, but certainly you'd think that he might. Gary is, Gary's obviously just driving as fast as he can with little regard for track limits. Astro Boy is very close here.
Last attempt for him, and it's gonna go down to bust up as Justin squeezes him towards the edge of the track, and they're gonna ride side by side. Who's gonna break later? And they get into their sideboard a lot, and where's the line? Astro sent too wide, so I don't think he's got this. There was so much contact there, and Justin just saves himself across for P4. Gary P5, Astro P5, Makenda P6, and Gary's gonna tumble down the order basket with a brilliant P7 finish. NJJ gets 3 points as well. Tipsy probably gets 2, but I should also mention that...
I think Tipsy is going to jump Gary here. It's going to be close,
no,
and he does.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, 3 seconds.
So, yeah, Yugos won this race. Who could have seen that? Ocean Chief won this race. Who could have seen that coming? As Yugos takes a fantastic, but just like not quite there P2. Pretorius, gets the last step of the podium, and WoW will really be mad at himself. Didn't see Ocean coming.
Hugo gave it his best shot, but I think finishing within a minute and a half or so of Ocean Chief is pretty good. I think Ocean was helped out by his fastest lap, of course, which 9/10 of a second. That's a pretty fast lap around Spa. 7 kilometers in 9/10 of a second is good going. It's an average speed. I'm not even going to try and work out the average speed because that's high.
Oh dear. Yeah, well, I was gonna attempt it as well, but I would have just made a clown of myself. So, but it's 7,000 meters a second, and take that times 3.6, and you've got the KPH. So.
Game says driver of the day is Ocean Chief. I can't really argue with that. I mean, that sort of performance, a minute and a half ahead of everyone. I think, yeah, absolutely.
That's what you gotta do. Who are we? Like, who would we actually?
Yeah.
What do you mean actually?
Who are we giving driver of the day to?
Who would we give it to if it wasn't for Ocean Chief? Like a hypothetical.
Okay. Well, I think there's a couple. Makenda had a really, really good race. Very, very clean, good battling with people. Only the one penalty, like most of the grid, and ending up P6 in the end, which is a really good result. The other one is Mr. Tipsy Bob, who I think had a really good... Actually, Mr. NJJ as well. Both Renaults having very strong races in the points there. They finished 8th and 9th, respectively. So those are my 3 candidates, I would say. What do you reckon?
Well, I know that, wait, let me actually have a peek at the championship table. I quickly need this for reference. Well, Basco more than doubled his points today, so I would also throw him into the mix, honestly. Because he had some good fights, and, normally we don't give him much screen time, but today he just got a P8 on merit. I would consider him as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Basco. I mean, we gave him a bit of screen time because he was fighting a lot, and it looked pretty good to me. Yeah, maybe we can give it to Basco. That's a good shout. I'm happy to go with that. That's a good shout.
Let's do that. Stevie is happy as well. That's good to hear.
Hey. Well, so is the dog. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our Spa race. Yeah, Basco Dino driver of the day. of course, second behind Mr. Ocean Chief, who does have, as he said, the triple crown, driver of the day, fastest lap, and race win. What a drive from Ocean.
Oh dear. Well, I agree. Yeah, I mean, let's go to the interviews. It's a little late. I would limit it to like, I don't know, 2 or 3, because I want to do something like right after.
Yeah, we'll do a couple of interviews. Who's going to talk to us? Oh, that's the 2SRL Discord. That's probably not going to help very much.
I'll be right back.
Okay, let's talk to Mr. Wow, who, I mean, again, there's penalties, etc. But in terms of pace, that was very strong indeed. Wow, how I'm hoping he's there. How do you feel after that?
Pretty happy, I'd say. Yeah, I found some pace in Hungary, and that really kept the motivation up for Spa. And practice was going well. The setup felt nice. And beforehand, I did some wet weather in time trial, which also felt it felt okay with the dry setup. So I went for this, and in the race it worked pretty well, and in quali it was okay. Unfortunately I invalidated my last run where I was up a few tenths, but
that's a shame, because you would have been right in the mix with that. But I mean, in terms of the race pace, like it was certainly there. You stayed with Hugo, which is no mean feat. You were making your way through the traffic there in the second intermediate stint, it looked really impressive.
It was. It also felt great. Like it's very encouraging when you finally can follow the strongest driver at the moment. In this year at the moment, in this year. So looking forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you lost P2 on penalties, but still a podium is an incredibly good result.
The last penalty was kind of unnecessary, because I don't know if you caught it on stream, but I got oversteer.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Out of turn 1, and then.
Well, I don't know if we got it on stream, but yeah, I saw it. It was just off the track to the right, wasn't it? So you didn't cut it as such, but you just went off the track, and it gave you the warning.
I didn't gain any time by that.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's how the game works, so I guess I gotta live with it. And
unfortunate. Some housekeeping on stream, by the way, and this is relevant to you. You almost got the actual fastest lap of the race, or rather the hypothetical fastest lap of the race. Ocean Chief got the fastest lap with a 0.9 second lap, which is, I mean, I think you'll agree that's pretty impressive.
Right, amazing, yeah. Like not even 1 second for 7 kilometers.
But the second fastest lap was Hugo with a 1:43.9, and your fastest lap was a 1:44.0. So very nearly there.
I checked, and I was a little bit disappointed that it was that close, but what can you do? It's fine.
Absolutely. So we got Monza next week, which is another one of these DRS fests, slipstream fests. How are you around Monza?
I think I'm pretty okay, but unfortunately I'm not there next week. Got stuff.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see you the week after, hopefully, for Singapore.
Singapore, yeah. That's a great track.
Singapore's fun. Yeah, I like Singapore. All right. Well done on the podium. Good stuff from you today.
Yeah.
And I'll put you back into the Corona Club. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Wow. Let's speak to. I might be interrupting his live stream viewing here, but Mr. Pretorius, who finished P2 on penalties there, jumping Wow. And we didn't see all that much of you during the race. You stayed out on the first, during the safety car, which meant that you took the inters all the way to lap 18 or whatever it was. How were those inters at the end of that stint?
They didn't feel too bad, actually. I mean, I feel like you don't feel the wear of inters that much, but they were like 80% at the end. So, I basically had to pit that lap, no matter what.
Yeah, we saw Gary pit a couple of laps before that, and we assumed that was the case for Gary as well. His tire wear was just a little bit too high. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like the drive itself, it was very impressive. I think you got the strategy call probably right, based on the drivers that the progress made by the drivers that pitted. And yeah, I mean, just in terms of how did that feel for you in terms of your overall pace? How did it feel? How do you feel about the result?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was decent. I was keeping up with the top 4 at the start for most of the start, and then I saw Bailey crash in front of me. I was up to P4, and I just figured I would risk the strategy because at the end of my inter stint, if I did go on inters, it would be like the best I could get would be like a P10. So it was either get a safe P10 or P9 or risk it and get either a podium or a DNF. So I just tried to risk the strategy, and I'm pretty happy I did.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly the right decision. It got you a bucket load of points. So I mean, 18 points is a really good haul. How are you feeling about Monza next week? Obviously, how is that for you? It's one of those tracks I think that a lot of people quite like and a lot of people really don't like. So which one do you fall into?
Well, I like the track, but I don't know. I don't have any particular big expectations for it. It's it's just going to be a GRS train, I think, for most of it. So
yeah, I think that's probably right. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's always a little bit of a lottery, but a really good performance today. Really well done on the second place. So that was Praetorius. I'm going to drag him back into the Corona Club, and we're going to speak to the man of the moment. And of course, we speculated about who we would hypothetically give driver of the day to, if it wasn't for the performance of Ocean Chief today. And Ocean, just to tell us, I mean, there might be a couple of people who are watching the stream who might suspect that there was something, there's something not quite right about doing a lap of Spa in 0.9 seconds. But just tell us how you did that. Just give us a few pointers as to how that happened.
Well, it was just I'm speechless pretty much. The name of my stream, my race stream is "I Sacrifice a Good for P10. Gods Don't Let Me Down," and it seems it worked. They play, they got me there in the end. Yeah, that fastest lap. Yeah, that was with minus 263 degree tires. Believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the secret. Maybe TRL Limitless was missing a trick there. He could have just done a lap in a second.
Yeah, I just stuck with it, and it just came together. The first, whenever I got that, I was hanging as the race lobby's loading in, and I've very rarely, I don't know if I've ever had that before, but whenever I was loading in, I was like, I wonder if I have that bug. As soon as I got to the start line of the formation lap, I, flipped through. Yep, I have that bug. Engine's like minus 40 or something, or minus 60. And, at the start line, I just pulled over and just let everybody pass. Because it was like, I saw how Limitless, how he got on. So it was just like, right, I just had to get my tires up to temperature and then just get back in the race somehow, some way, hope for a safety car or something. I think I had a pretty decent race, once I got those tires warmed up, and I was just basically in the zone. I was watching as I crossed the line, was I P11 maybe, or P12? And I was hoping to maybe, I think it was P11.
I think so. I don't, did you actually finish P10? Is that what you think, based on the count back?
I think I just missed it. I know Gary had a bunch of penalties. I think I just missed out on it. I'll have to check and see now. I was 9 seconds.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I was roughly 9 seconds behind Tipsy.
Did you have a penalty?
I had no penalties, no.
No penalties, in which case I think you probably have it, because Gary finished 8 seconds behind Tipsy. And Tipsy had 3 seconds of penalties. So I have a feeling you have it in that case.
Oh my man, that makes me so happy. I mean, P1, it's a bit of a meme, but P10, that's awesome.
Bigger meme.
That's true. If someone can confirm that, that'd be it.
By the way, Kitsune in chat, Tipsy's wife, with maybe the comment of the race. He's not P10, he's P1.0. So there you go.
I think the comment of the race was, at least Bailey still has his wing, but Kitsune.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I had that fed back to me. Spa has been very comical this week. You know, we had Wimpy going off at a Rouge after Icewind. Yeah, Icewind cracked a joke, and you know, Wimpy's going for a Rouge, and he laughed, and then that was him. He died, pretty much.
And then we had Icewind returning the favor yesterday with Timo watching. That was.
Yeah, it's been very comical, but yeah, I had a good race. I mean, you know, I was in that race with you, tier 3, and it was just like. Yeah, it's one of those ones you just want to put behind you. So today I was just about trying to not make mistakes, you know, learn from that race. And it was the worst conditions. It really was. And it was not drying up. And we were just, come on, dry up. You know, Jeff saying 5 minutes, and then like 15 minutes later, it's still not dry. And yeah, I just made sure I didn't get, you know, I was stuck behind that guy, Granite Goran. And I was really, really wary of the fact that if it dried up, he's my teammate, even though I'm a reserve. He's going to pit ahead of me, and I'm going to have to, you know, double stack, and I'm out of the race then pretty much. So I was just trying to get past him. Eventually did get past him. I think he was on old enders, so the fact that I had pitted for a fresh end enders, I think it kind of paid off there. And then obviously there's a bunch of who had incidents, and yeah, like if I get P10, man, I am so happy with that. I am so happy. That was my aim. And if I can get that, and the P1, yeah, I'll take that as well.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really good performance, yeah, especially after the tier 3 race earlier this week, where you could have had a really good result there, and you showed the pace today as well to do that. So yeah, really good. That's really impressive. How are you feeling about Monza?
It's like Spa. I like the track, but I just, you know, it's all about the margins, and that's where I think my downfall is. You know, just I think it's if I get into TT and just grind it, I think I will do well. But we'll see.
Last season you got a P6 there, I think. So, or was it? No, that was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But that was like complete. You know, it was like one of those races where everything just went your way at the end. You know, with a safety car, and I had no penalties, and safety car came out.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. I've taken a lot of inspiration from watching your races and seeing how you finish and stuff.
I'm taking inspiration from you. I've done 2 races this week, and I finished P10 in both. So.
Yeah, we're swapping rules here. Yeah, but no, I've noticed that, you know, with you obviously you're very good at not getting the penalties, and it really does you well in those races. You know. Where other people are pushing so hard and maybe, you know, just pushing it a bit too hard. You know, you just drive within your limit and don't get time penalties. And, you know, I think I've called a race recently to SRL where you went from P13 to P7, tier 1. And I was like, yep, I'm going to do that. I'm going to to be like Timo. Be like Timo.
Do it.
Yep.
Get
Good
15 penalty
like
points. So anyways... thanks for joining us. I think that
I think that does us for today. That's a good note to end it on. It was a fun Spa race. I enjoyed it.
Be like Timo is always a good note to end
Be like Timo, exactly.
Except you're driving in the last lap of Hanoi, so we've got we have got a little bit more coming. Well, not tonight, but you know, generally we've got 3 races in Spa coming up in the next 2 days. We've got 2 SRL heads to Spa tomorrow with tier 2 and tier 1 in the evening, as always. 18 CST or 7 p. That's 6 p.m. right? Oh god, just get a 24 hour model, please. Anyways, so that's happening, and then the day after that we've got ACC. And we also drive at Spa, and we drive at the night, in the night, and we're gonna see if we make it past turn 2 without any canch. So far we've not done that in Spa, and I'm sure this one will be the one. So make sure to be there when history is written, and join us for that. And then next week we're heading to Monza, so that's gonna be fun for, you know, spectators, drivers not so much, in my humble opinion.
Monza turn 1, the best corner in motorsport. Fight me.
It's true. You can't say anything about that, but only on lap 1. After it gets like meh. So, to everyone, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to commentate, and have a good evening. Goodbye.
Bye bye.